And we're live.
What's up,
Okay.
everybody? What's up?
All right. So today we're going to talk about when life gives you lemons in business. So, what it means. But I would like to welcome everyone to the Entrepreneurial Toolkit podcast by Anton Campbell. My name is Franz, and I'll be here asking him a couple of questions about entrepreneurship and how he got started and how we can turn some setbacks into success stories in the world of entrepreneurship. A lot of things have been going on recently, been reading a lot of articles and a lot of people who are actually just making a comment on YouTube videos about entrepreneurship, and a lot of people are sort of like struggling, and we are no different in that aspect too. Anton and I, we are in the entrepreneurship business, and we could share to you how we got started doing what we do now, doing the important things that we know for sure is going to provide value to different entrepreneurs out there. If you're listening on YouTube or on Facebook, hit that like button. We would truly appreciate it. You can share it to your friends and for those people who actually need to hear it as well. This is Entrepreneurial Toolkit podcast as well. Again, by Antoine Campbell. It's sponsored by Extreme Success. If you need anything from us, if you need help with your business, you can go on CEO929 on Instagram, or you could go to www.ceo929.com. So, Antoine, can you briefly introduce yourself and let's get started with you and then your entrepreneurial journey, how you got started?
Yeah, my name is Antoine Campbell. Once again, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on one of the streaming platforms, I am from Washington, D.C., born and raised. Moved to PG County probably around the age of 10, 11. And then, got married, graduated high school, got married at the age of 22. And now I currently live in Baltimore, Maryland, run multiple companies virtually. France is my COO. We have multiple employees to help us run these different companies, and I enjoy taking on big challenges. I enjoy chasing the dream and trying to crack the code of entrepreneurial happiness and what that means to me.
All right. And how did you get started, like in the
Well,
entrepreneurial journey?
well, as an entrepreneur, I got started young. When I was a young kid, man, I sold candy in school. Went to the dollar store, took $20 and flipped it to $80 every day. So I was making like almost $300 a week at the age of like probably like 8, 9. Um, then as I got a little older, started working at the thrift store. Taking computers and programming Windows XP on it because at the time everybody had Windows 97 and 99, I think. Um,
That was
and
so long time ago.
yeah, so this lady I used to work for, she put an ad in Craigslist looking for help, and I was, wanting to get a job. I say at the time Windows XP came out, it had to be like 99, 2000, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
I was born 88. So I was every bit of between 10 and 12. How about that? And she gave me this master's CD where I could just keep putting on every computer. And what I was doing was I was at the thrift store. I'm like, yo, your computer trash. Your computer trash. Here's what I could do for you. I could put this Windows XP on it, put some memory in it, and you pay me 200. We good to go. And I did like one of them like maybe like 2, 3 times a week. And I remember making like $600 my first week at the age of 12, and it was amazing. I put a couch in my room. I put a refrigerator in my room, and I was living my life running my little PC business.
You're bougie now, or not to say like in a bad way, but like you no longer have that couch, right?
Oh no, oh no, we went out and
That
got a
was a very long time ago.
yeah, we went out and got a nice, crazy leather couch that we don't really let the kids sit on.
Looking back, like let's say how you do things now versus the way that you do things when you were young, when you started very early,
Yeah.
in sales too. It's like not a lot of people actually have that kind of like a skill to get started with. What's like the difference now between you doing sales and then doing it back then?
Well, when I was doing sales when I was young, I didn't realize I was selling. I was just trying to make money, and I didn't mind talking to people. I wasn't afraid to talk to people. I was about 10 years old. Now looking at it now, it's more structured because you go get the training. You have multiple businesses. A lot of people riding on you. It was just me selling candy and selling Windows XP upgrades. So it wasn't so much pressure. But now, when you have a lot of pressure, you have team members and employees and families and children, and you just create this big ecosystem around you. You realize that everybody's riding on you. You got to be really great at sales because sales drives all businesses, not some businesses, all businesses.
Right, and I think in a lot of like industries that actually does it, it's like sales is like the most important thing that you have to learn even before you become an entrepreneur or start up a business, right?
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think right now? Like, in what percentage or like maybe out of 10 entrepreneurs, um, what's the ratio when it comes to like people who know sales and actually does it for the business or some to that sort?
It's low. Since I've been doing business consulting with clients and stuff over the years, a lot of people are not naturally salespeople because this is stigma and this notion that sales is dirty, sales is nasty, sales is ugly. It's inappropriate to ask people to buy from you. It's inappropriate to sell or pitch your trainings, your course, or your product or your services. So a lot of people are intimidated and afraid that that's not the way you do business. But so I say about 25% of the entrepreneurs are very adverse in sales and know how to generate customers and close them. The other 75 people, they just out there and they just trying to do business and they're stringing along and they're just still trying to figure it out.
Like being timid and such.
You said what?
Timid.
Yeah, definitely timid, not willing to follow up. The biggest thing that I see people struggle with sales is they're timid, they're not willing to follow up, and they complacent. So most entrepreneurs they have some other income that's kind of like holding them up. So this whole entrepreneur thing is an option, but it's not like a must do. Like like for me, I haven't received a check from another company or job or anybody since 2013. So I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary. Actually, August. I didn't even celebrate it, but August has been 10 years since I haven't received a check from anybody. Now I was able to take care of my family, take care of myself, pay my bills, all of that stuff. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot of consistency and a lot of discipline to really start to thrive and do sales and ask people to buy your products and follow up. Most people don't want to follow up. That's the biggest thing I see.
And that is a setback right there. It's like a lot of people nowadays they think that, oh, okay, I'll just do a follow up one time and then that's it. If they're gonna say no, they're gonna say no forever, right?
Yeah,
But they
yeah,
don't actually think of the negotiation part of it. How did you do the negotiation? How did you talk to the prospect? Is it just your personality who's actually shielding you from actually performing in that particular conversation? But that's just another reason. That's just another setback. It's
right.
like you don't even think about you being an entrepreneur that you could even like create your own persona wherein you could be this type of a person, right? I think a lot of people's timidness comes from that wherein, oh, okay, this is just my personality. I'm really not out there. I'm an introvert. I'm shy, this and that. But push comes to shove, if you are put in front of a person wherein, let's say, they have $10 million, they're gonna give it to you, but you have to convince them,
Yeah.
right? Wouldn't you change the way you sort of like talk at that time? Wouldn't you change the way you look at things just for that moment so that you could get that $10 million?
I mean, most people would, but if you're already doing business or sales, it comes second nature to you. You don't even realize you're selling. Like you look at a Grant Cardone, I don't even, I think he done it so long, so much. I don't even think he even realized that he's actually going for the ads or the sale or trying to persuade people. He's just speaking with passion.
And I see the same thing from you. I'm not just not because you're my boss or anything, but whenever we talk about certain things, whenever I listen to you when you are actually talking to someone, it's like it comes naturally even when you're doing some deals on real estate. We've seen you live before. from one of the stories of your friends on Instagram, and then it was just totally awesome. It's like you know how to talk to a person. It doesn't come off as being salesy, which is, I think, one of the fears of a lot of entrepreneurs or people who are talking on the phone and trying to sell someone their service, or trying to, for real estate, like buy a house,
Right.
right? They overthink, and they think about like um that they're being too salesy, or they're being too pushy. You wouldn't think that if you don't categorize it as that. Basically, you're just talking. Basically, you're just having a conversation. That's it, right?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And most people, they're so timid and afraid of it is because they don't have the confidence in what they're selling. Most times, they're not sure of it. You know, like for me, I have the confidence because I believe in what I'm selling because it's most likely my product, or I used the service before, and I'm such an advocate for PropStream. Yeah, they pay me a ton of money, but outside of that, before I was making money with PropStream, um, I believe in the product, the usability. Before I knew about apostrophe, it was a nightmare to generate leads and look at different places and run comps and try to make an offer on a property because you really couldn't see or tell. You didn't have the information in front of you to make an educated decision to
Mm.
make this offer. Then when apostrophe came along, it was a game changer for me. Then I started teaching people about it, showing people about it, and honestly, I need to update it and do a free PropStream masterclass and put it out there for free for the people because most people and when I look at other Facebook groups, I'm like, yo, you guys use a PropStream? Oh no. And I'm like, yo, how? And now I see why you're not closing the deals that you want to close because you don't have the information in front of you to give the person a great offer or to be certain about the offer you're putting out there.
Yeah, definitely. In the coming days, we will do probably like a live stream. It's just going to be Anton, and then we'll be able to invite Burton again in one of our live stream for that. Or like we're just gonna record it. But keep in touch with us, guys. You can go to www.ceo929.com and then subscribe so that you can receive the emails for our updates, and then whatever is new is gonna be on the website again. But yeah, going back, it's like it's sometimes the people or the entrepreneurs themselves who are actually putting the setback in front of them,
Right,
right? In a dance practice, before you would go on a stage and dance, what would you do first? You'll have to practice,
right,
right? To get used to it, to be confident about your moves, to be confident about this or that, and even for like singing. But most of the time, it's like some entrepreneurs, they do it once, they wouldn't practice, they don't have a script, they don't have prop stream, they don't have the data to look at and be confident about what it is that they're going to talk about, which is, again, you're just putting yourself into a position wherein there's definitely going to be a setback. You cannot
yeah,
turn that into a success story because a lot of people don't believe in practicing anymore. Even just like before you get out of bed, or before you put your dialer hat or your cold calling hat, again, even for virtual assistants, they no longer practice this and this and that. Not our virtual assistants though. They're afraid of what I'm gonna
But yeah,
say if
but,
I
but,
find out.
but VAs in general, like everybody in general, like
Yeah.
um, it's called to me mastery, right?
Mhm.
When you do something so much, so frequently that it becomes second nature to you, that you mastered it, right? I keep saying this example, like um, when you got to tie your shoe, you don't think about okay, how do I tie my shoe again? You just bend over and just whoop 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 and be done and walk away. Your brain didn't even process that you just tied your shoe because you do it so much. So when it comes to sales and cold calling and acquisitions and generating leads for your business and going on appointments, you got to do that stuff so much that you eventually master it. It becomes mastery. You don't even realize you're doing it.
Exactly. Exactly. And when they say practice makes perfect, sometimes it could be practice makes permanent. Again, it becomes second nature.
Mhm.
And practicing gives you that progress that you should actually have in the way you do things. You could, while practicing, you might realize something new, right? And it's not even on the call or in the conversation that you are negotiating already, or you're in sales, but you were able to sort of like listen to it yourself. What am I saying wrong? What is
Right.
it that? just gonna make this more successful than this, right? And another thing is that, is it because people are being lazy? I know I
Yeah, yeah. It got a lot to do with laziness, and then the availability of the phone to see success. Like when I was younger, the phone was there, but like only people I knew had phones was like people who like had government jobs, people that sold drugs on the street. Like it wasn't available to everybody because it was so expensive. They charge you by the minute. Then I got a little older. Like after 7 o'clock, the minutes became free. But before then, social media and all that. Um, you didn't really see success unless you was actually in the streets and you was around people and you was communicating with people. So now you got Instagram and TikTok and you got websites and you got this and that, and now you're always comparing. So you're looking at this guy, oh, this guy doing 300,000, this girl making 50. So it kind of distracts you,
yeah,
and and sometimes I get to the point, even for me, I cut my phone off because even though it's my job to be on my phone, most of the time talking to customers, getting deals done, working with people, doing business with people, whatever. I need that break, and you have to escape the matrix, I call it. And people they just glue to their phones and they like, and I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of people think about being happy and being successful and crushing sales and doing this and their business, doing that. But the thought about it, just to think of it and just think about what will happen is satisfactory enough for them. And they don't even have to move forward after that part. Just thinking about it like, oh wow, what if I was they happy and that's it. That's their threshold. They don't have to go even further.
exactly. The other setback is that if you, let for example, if you do one deal,
Hmm.
right? It was a successful deal. It wasn't easy at first, but it became easy.
Hmm.
But what comes after, right? Sometimes people will be like what you said earlier, complacent, and then they will step back to the business. Don't they didn't do what they did initially to actually get that deal, and then they would be thinking after a couple of months, oh crap, I don't have anything. I don't have anything on my pipeline. There's no continuation,
Right.
right?
And,
And that's another setback.
that's like the that's like the most dangerous thing you can do in your business. You're so focused on one client, you're fulfilling one account, and you're not out there marketing to try to get more business. What does that deal fall through? And you don't make money. What if that client say, you know what, I'm canceling my services, man. I don't want to continue. Put all your energy to one client that you didn't accumulate more clients. And that's one of the biggest things I think that entrepreneurs need to do. They need to understand these 4 pillars. They need to understand that you need to be generating leads. You need to be marketing. You need to be dominating sales, stand on the phone with people, and you need to be on top of your fulfillment, whatever that looks like for your business model. And if you can get all 4 right, now you can't stop what we call churn, but or people quitting on you or don't want to work with you, whatever the case may be. But if you get it right, you can make a more predictable business, knowing that this person gonna stay with me. This person, like example, if you're doing social media management for people, I'm just throwing that out there because it's the easiest thing that we all can relate to when someone's trying to do service-based businesses.
Mm,
You may get a client to stay with you for 2 months, then after month 3 they drop off. But what happens if you didn't go continue to market, prospect, and do sales? You don't have no clients. But if you had this one client you start off with, and then you continue to market, process, and do sales, you added 4 more people to your monthly obligations to do social media management for. And now if one person leaves, you still got 3 people holding down the empire. So that's the same thing in real estate. That's the same thing in agency. That's the same thing in car wash services. That's the same thing in beauty. Listen, when you only cater to a certain amount of people, you'll not continue to bring in new customers and prospects into your business. Then people eventually will go away, and you're not going to have many customers or no customers to work with.
exactly. That's also relatable to like real estate investors too, or people who are doing real estate wholesaling. They get so much into the zone because I have to get this deal, I have to get this deal, but doesn't look into like the reality of what happens after,
Yeah,
right?
they
As
have
an
a
entrepreneur, you gotta be smart, right? You gotta put a lot of consideration. Let's say if you're about to negotiate with someone, you've done the first part, you send in the contract, this and that. Are you gonna relax? Will you
Oh,
be relaxing?
oh, with me, I'm not gonna relax. But some people they sit there and say, I'm just waiting on such and such to sign this contract, and once I close this deal, then I start back calling again. Some people literally think like that.
Hmm.
So you just got to do a good job of working on your mindset and making sure that you know your mindset doesn't get away with what needs to be done in front of you.
Yep. Don't hate us though, guys. If you're listening to this and you're feeling a little bit attacked. No, it's about the realization that is more important as to why we are talking about this, because it's heartbreaking. Let's say for us, we are solution providers. We'll help out people about their business, and it's heartbreaking for us to hear someone who would give up just because of this. And then when we found out, or what were able to observe over the past few months that are working together, while we were working together, is that the framework that we even provided is not being utilized. It's not being
Yeah,
used. Like, we just didn't put it out there just for you to take a look at. It's for you to take action on it, use it, right? And our stuff is not even like the most expensive thing out there, because we know that the value of it is just gonna make you do more business with us, which is what we're after.
the issue is a lot of people are looking for a better way to do things. Like you have an effective way to do things, and then you say there must be an even easier way. Example, you hire a cold caller, the person give you the script, you got the list, and then as you're going through it, instead of following the framework and the system that a person took years and years to master and build, you go off and do your thing, and then when the results don't yield or come back, then you blame that person because you didn't follow the directions. Oh, this didn't work. Oh, I didn't get the leads I wanted to. Oh, this isn't this thing. I done spent 3 months on it. No, you have to follow systems. Systems are meant to follow. Why you think that people come up with recipe books? Because if you put a little more than what the recipe yield for, you may get a whole different result,
Hmm.
right? So the one thing that I learned so far in my little 34 years, I'll be 35 at the end of the month. The one thing I learned so far is that you have to be disciplined and learn how to take orders and have faith, right? You have to have faith in things. You just can't just be an inconsistent, all over the place entrepreneur, or you're just going to be that way your whole entire career.
Exactly. And you can't think of yourself as someone who's bigger than anyone.
Right.
When you think that way, it will show up definitely with your like personality, this and that. People will veer away from you and actually might not do business with you because you think big of yourself. You're like the main character in a story, which is not bad to think about it, because that is your own journey. But if you would step on to someone else's, you know, that's gonna be a problem. And
Right.
then in the end, you have to think of it this way: we can live forever, and your reputation sometimes would stay with the people whom you have talked to. And if you're going to have like a bad rep with people, those people, they're not going to talk good about you. Your legacy is going to be tarnished by this and this
Hmm.
and that, and then people would definitely just forget about you. And then at the end of the day, no one's referring you to other people to do business with.
No, I agree. I agree. And speaking of um, referrals is really great in business.
Hmm.
So you don't know who. So when you're taking care of people and you're like, "Yo, do you know anybody else who may need these services?" Um, you'd be surprised how many people send people your way if you could take good care of them.
Have you done a deal wherein, back then when you were doing real estate full time, have you done a deal wherein someone referred you just because of how you interacted with one person?
Of course, of course. And this was like the title company sending work my way, like, "Hey, this person trying to do," or a relative, like a relative may not want to really partake in dealing with this deal because it just doesn't make sense to them. So they just pass it off to
Mm.
me, and we work it out. Some little bread on the table, but the referral thing, man, that's a really big business principle. Where if you can dominate referral marketing, and for years I crushed referral marketing. I ran ads and stuff on all my businesses at one point. When we set back up my Google account, I looked at my Google account and I showed you like, yo, friends, look at this ad I was running for one of my old businesses. This is from right what 2013, and it hit me like, wow, we've been at this for a very long time, a very long time.
Definitely. It's very nostalgic. And then it's crazy how it looks so different as to what it is now. It's not like
Yeah,
about the graphics, but it was about like the messaging as well.
right, right. It was just different, but it was effective.
Yeah.
We had like my old business, brick and mortar type business. We was really big on like marketing, SEO, getting listed everywhere. And like some mornings, man, we open up at 9 a.m. and by like 8:50, it was like 15 people stand outside ready to be served. And I love brick and mortar businesses. And that's what drove and inspired me to really start to do the agency stuff like full time.
Mm.
Like, because I know how to get people to your business and get people to do it. But you have to listen. Like, and I'm not saying I'm a know it all and stuff, but if you're paying me for service, you should listen to me because there's a reason why you're paying me.
Right. Here's a tip: if you're an entrepreneur who would like to uh, not perfect but to progress the craft that you are selling towards your own clients, you got to study it very, very well. For
Hmm.
us, me and Anton, we always review things, we always look into the markets, we always spend some time to actually improve what we provide as a solution. And that's something that your reputation is going to appreciate. And again, referral. People is going to refer you because they know for sure that you are sure about what you sell. And then when you're confident about something again, it comes naturally that you're just going to talk about it without even sounding as if you're trying to sell something.
Exactly. Exactly.
And also, guys, since we were talking about ads, about Anton's Google ads, we do have a solution wherein it's Go Lead Max, and Anton is going to explain a little bit to you as to how it works and how it is compared to virtual assistants. Don't We do have virtual assistants as well, but it's not sort of like that. It's like one thing going out for the other. That there is, it makes sense for those entrepreneurs, especially or for businesses who are looking to scale and expand their reach and not just be limited to cold calling.
Yeah, so we developed a program called Go Lead Max, and basically, it came out as just understanding the needs of our clients, right? How could you reach a lot more people? How could you expand your business and you expand your business to online marketing? So, using Facebook ads and Instagram ads and Google search, is a very effective way to get more leads. And this could work for any niche. So we got all different types of clients using our services. But I'm going to speak primarily on real estate today because I know that we have still a ton of real estate following. And if you really want to, like, the average person that comes to us is a person who makes great money, who has a good paying job, right? They make great money, and they still want to do real estate, but they just don't have the time to manage a bunch of VAs, and they don't have time to, really deal with the day to days of listening to calls and is my VA stealing time for me, this and that. No, so we created this solution where we generate them leads automatically. It get emailed to them. It's very transparent, and they call the leads back. And some people, that's all they want. They don't want the big 20, VA operation or all of this baggage. They just want a simple, lean operation where they can get leads, they can talk to people and make offers. And if
Mhm.
that's something that you're interested in and you're looking for, definitely book a call with us. The link is down in the bio for the Go Lead Max. To book a call with us so we can hop on the phone, show you exactly what it is we're going to be doing for you and get you set up. So we got a few spaces available this week for onboarding because it involves setting up a lot of different back end stuff. But if you're very serious about it, only if you're serious about it, we don't want to deal with nobody that's wasting. We don't want to waste your time, and we don't want you to waste our time. But if you're serious about it, then you know, we would love to be on the phone talking to you.
Yep, consultation are free, so better take advantage of it. I posted the link on the comments as well, or on the chat. It's you could go to www.ceo929.com/call and then just book a call with us.
Yeah,
So
and I
just
just put
to
it on screen as well for them.
thank you. So for this, again, like what Antoine said, if you're not someone who can manage a virtual assistant at the moment, this would definitely give you that 24/7 lead generation that you're looking to get. So imagine yourself still working, but your lead generation on that aspect is currently working for you, right? And it's gonna work with you because a lot of people, they sometimes go on social media, they would see ads during maybe at midnight. Sometimes there are like submissions that we got like at 3 a.m. for some reason. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
that's when people trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Everybody that if they got an issue, like if you're facing foreclosure and you're going to be searching how can I sell my house, how can I get rid of my house. And next thing you know, Facebook going to show you this ad, and oh, okay, let me call them, and you on the phone with them early in the morning trying to do business. So that's the whole point of the system, is to make it so make it so convenient that you'll be elated to continue to use the services.
Definitely. And if you just wanted to be like a one man show at the moment, yes, we can definitely help you out with that. We have disposition courses, we have acquisition management courses and training that you need to know and boost your confidence whenever you're talking to your prospects. Again, that's one of like the setback um that we are looking at with some clients that are coming in, or some entrepreneurs not knowing how to have a conversation with their clients. It's not about like having a perfect uh, grammar pitch or whatever sales sound when you are on the phone. It's not about that. It's about the message. People nowadays, they're smarter than they are, because they've been called multiple times. They've seen so many websites. They've seen so many landing pages. And right now, what they're looking for is someone who's going to be different enough that it's going to give them the solution that they're looking to get.
Right, I agree.
Sometimes it could be just like one word that you would say in a conversation, and that's gonna be the deal maker or deal breaker.
But see, in any business, like when you get a brand new entrepreneur, they're naturally transactional. Hey man, let's hurry up and get this over with. You selling on that. You selling your house on that. And that's not the way to go about it. You
Mm,
want to slow down that conversation and listen to people's problems and bring a solution to their problems. And be okay with following up for months and months. Because if your pipeline is big enough, you're not even gonna realize that, oh man, I've been talking to this person, because you're talking to everybody. So it's like and you gotta be a natural phone person. You gotta be a natural person that loves speaking to people. Hey man, hey friends, how you doing today? My name was nothing, just calling checking in on you, man. I know it's Tuesday, I don't want nothing. Yeah, I see there's another hurricane on the way, are you prepared for that? Okay, great. I don't want to. By the way, while I got you on the phone, have you put any thought to what we talked about last week? No, okay, great. I'll talk to you soon. Click. That's it. Don't be butthurt when people say, "Nah, I'm not ready yet." Nah, because all that's doing is weighing you down mentally. You
uh-huh.
know, even for me, like today, did two sales calls for our VA business. I'm still very much involved in that business, and I don't take it personal. Person waste my time. I don't look at it as wasting my time, because eventually, even if they went to another service, they're going to come back, because the convenience that we bring to our clients is so convenient that we're not putting you in a crazy contract. We're not making you pay all this absurd amount of money every month. We're making things easy as possible for you so you can be an effective entrepreneur. So when I'm talking to my clients and my prospects, okay, great, I get called a month because I have a pipeline. If I didn't have a pipeline, that was the sales I was depending on, and I was sound desperate. No, just give me a chance. I give you 90% off. Like we was laughing earlier, people getting so Because right now we in a recession almost, and things are different. The cost of food going up. People are doing ridiculous things we see somebody advertising on Facebook. Like get 200. How many leads they say? Get 100 leads guaranteed, or you don't pay $300 a month. I'm like, if a person that's actually generating legitimate leads that is only charged $3 a month, you must question their intentions. Are
Yeah,
they reselling you or double dipping and selling you someone else's leads, or what is it? Who could offer this so cheap?
exactly. And I think a lot of our listeners and viewers, they do understand when it's cheap, the quality is going to be definitely
Oh
cheap
yeah,
as well.
you get what you pay for. That's what my daddy tell me.
Mm-hmm. You get what you paid for. So, what final words of encouragement or wisdom do you have for our listeners, or who may be on the verge of, what we call this setback, is like giving up or rattled about being an entrepreneur, just didn't want to continue anymore.
If you feel like you on a slump or a downturn and you looking at entrepreneurs as an exit, you don't want to do anymore, you got to go back to your why. Your why. Why did you get started trying to work for yourself? Why did you get started trying to create a business? Um, and maybe your why is not aligned to your efforts. Because
Hmm.
if you're doing this for yourself and to be able to provide for your family and whatever the case may be, maybe that's not enough. Because once again, you might got a job that's paying you comfortably already. So you're thinking you're giving yourself a lot of energy doing it because you may make a few phone calls a week, but you're not really giving it enough effort to see the results. So you got to ask yourself, am I giving it the effort that it needs to see the results? And what I mean by that, if you're only calling 2, 3 people a day, there's no way you're going to get a deal in a contract. You should be calling 40 plus people a day minimum. And that's from an acquisition standpoint. I ain't saying from a cold caller standpoint. That's totally different numbers. Also, you need an accountability partner. You need somebody that's going to hold you by the hand, that's going to tell you exactly, not a coach, but a person that's going to ask you, where you at with things? How was your week? What's going on? A place where you can come check in, a place where you come fellowship. So we working on something for you guys. We working on a community. We create a bunch of small communities over the years. I enjoy all of them. All of them serve this purpose. But this one that we're really working on is going to be what I call my legacy community, where this is going to be a place where um, successful entrepreneurs are going to be born, created, and distributed to the marketplace. We're going to literally breed entrepreneurs through the Antoine Campbell Academy. That's what we're working on. So if you're interested in joining my academy, where we're going to be helping you on all aspects of business, from real estate on down to everything. Um, you know, DM me, say yo, put me on the waiting list, and we send some information. Part of the academy is free. We can come in and fellowship, and if you like it, upgrade to a VIP seat in the academy. If not, no hard feelings. Stay in the free section. We just want you to show up and get the information.
But it
So
doesn't mean, although you're in a free section, it doesn't mean that you're still not gonna get value. Of
oh,
course, you can
definitely.
progress. You'll progress if you want to get on with the high level stuff of things. Antoine and I are gonna be there. We are naturally salespeople. I'm an introvert, but right now you might not know that, or you might not notice it. But this is sort of like a conversation. It's okay for me, and talking to people, training virtual assistants, or this and that. It's part of what you do, and you got
Right.
to put value into it. And the more value you put in the things that you do, the more you will continue because you know it matters.
Right, I agree, and like he said, value is a very huge part in what you do. So everything you do has to have value to it, right?
Yeah.
From you dealing with your customers on down, you dealing with your VAs all the way down to you creating a business that serves your family, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, tonight it's gonna be an all nighter. I got a client that we got to onboard at 8 o'clock. Why? Because his schedule don't allow him any other time. So instead of saying no, we can't help you, you have to go above and beyond to help your clients, right? Got another client we have to meet at 6:30. Why? Because the schedule don't allow to meet before. And the reason is, if you're not going to show up and help your clients, who else is going to do that? So sometimes you have to go above and beyond to help your people in order for your team to win and be successful. And if that's what it takes, then that's what we're gonna do. I remember one time I had to do a call so late because of time difference. We had a client like, well, I didn't do it, the team did it. Um, we had a client in Singapore, and he wanted to operate on Singapore time zone, and we made that accommodation. So the point I'm making to you is sometimes you got to go the extra mile, even if you're not being paid for it or compensated, because you never know what them seeds that you're sowing, them favors that you're doing for people might take you or put you in. So that's the biggest thing I
Exactly.
want to say to people is to be okay with sowing seeds. Be okay with doing things, even if you don't get instant if you don't get instant like gratification right then and there. Be okay with knowing that you're doing the right thing.
Yep.
So if you don't learn anything from today's podcast, do the right thing even when no one's looking. And I guarantee you, you'll start receiving all the blessings that you want to receive in your business, in your life, in your marriage, you know, everything. And just stay consistent and follow the directions. See, some of you guys, and this is why you burn your popcorn, you overcook your food. You want to do things your way. You don't want to follow directions. Follow directions. If you paid a coach or trainer or expert or somebody to help you, follow directions. Follow it, follow it, follow it. Eventually it will work. If you're feeling hot, it won't work, then move on. But until then, give it time to harvest. See, some of y'all going out here planting seeds and 2 days later you're going back into the field. Hey, where's that? Where it go? I don't see nothing yet. You gotta wait. Wait your turn. Wait your
Yep.
turn. That's the message for today.
Yep. And they say you reap what you sow, but you also harvest what you plant and you enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Exactly. Exactly.
You'll never know how much is the equivalent of that time that you put in towards the work. And of course, in the future, you don't have to do that forever. Once your business is growing and growing, you can hire a virtual assistant from us to
Good.
help you
It don't
with
have
your
to be
business.
now. There's no
Yep.
pressure. And that's the reason why I know we put an academy together because I can't be on consulting calls all day. My team can't be in consulting calls all day. But if we put together a community and structure where we can service hundreds of people all at one time, that's great for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. So, we're going to be sending you guys emails. If you're not on our email list, go to co929.com, get on the email list. If you're not on the email list, I'm telling you one more time, go to co929.com, get on the email list. We got a lot of blogs we're dropping, a lot of YouTube videos. We got so much value. We're going to close out the fourth quarter so strong that we wanted to start taking people to the next level. And let me tell you this one thing: if you feel defeated in real estate and you realize real estate is your thing, we have so many other opportunities that we learned and mastered over the years that we want to present to you, you know. And the first thing we're going to do in the academy is open up the whole white labeling series where you can take an already established product and put some marketing behind it and make a ton of money. And when we get into the academy, we won't be teaching that publicly, but when we get to the academy, you'll see exactly what I mean and what you can do to make a ton of money with white label.
Exactly. Well, thank you everyone for listening and watching. You can follow Antoine on Instagram and Facebook, CEO929. And I'm sure that you're watching this from YouTube. If you can hit that subscribe button and notification bell, we would truly appreciate it so that you can see us when we go live. And we're planning to go on live again every day or every other day, but you'll
Yeah, we'll be
definitely.
back live Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yep. Have a great night, day, wherever you are. Bye bye.